Hi everyone, so with season 24 we get ethereal items in the game. You have probably seen them already from the PTR or from the patch notes. They look like this, and there will be an achievement where if you collect all 21 of them, 3 of each class, you will get their transmogs unlocked permanently for all future seasons and non-season on your account. So this is a goal that a lot of people seem to want to be striving for. And a lot of people seem to be very concerned that this will be a huge issue. And I want to kind of take away your fears a little bit. So I have played the PTR for around 30 hours now, a lot of which is also standing in town and rolling gear and not really doing much and just looking at items and builds. But I have also actually played a few runs, as you can see. And I can tell you those ethereal items are actually dropping quite a lot. So there's not much to worry about. So now you might say, oh wait, this is PTR, you have this huge magic find buff, you get loot everywhere and all that stuff. But the thing is, yes, that is true, but this mostly applied to Nephilim Rifts. In GRs, the loot is essentially exactly the same after GR90. GR90 is generally considered the loot cap, so if you want to gear up a class extremely fast, GR90 is the goal as fast as possible. And this is where you get to the most souls per hour, the most legendaries per hour, and you get 12 items at a time and not more. And most of them, like 11 plus of them, will usually be legendary. And this is always the case on the live servers. And just because you have more magic find, you're not finding more items, you just have a higher chance of the items that drop to be legendary. But all of them are basically already legendary anyway at that tier. So we have a little bit of a sample size here. Apocryphus has collected 742 legendary items and counted how many ethereals, how many ancients, how many primals. And we know the drop rate of a primal is 1 in 400. We know the drop rate of an ancient is 1 in 10. And they said on the patch preview that ethereals are going to be somewhere in between primal and ancient. And in this sample of around 740 legendaries, Apocryphus found 8 ethereal items, which leads us to conclude that the drop rate is going to be roughly 1 in 100, so around 1% of the drops will be ethereal. We don't know exactly how this works because ethereals are only weapons, so it's not like, it can drop any ring and that rolls either a primal or either an ancient or a legendary. So weapons are a bit special in that sense that they have primal, they have ancient and ethereal, but it seems like that depending on the class, maybe it will be slightly above, slightly below 1% drop rate, but this seems to match pretty well with what I have seen myself just from playing the game, just from my gut feeling. So I think there's a good reason to assume that it's going to be around 1%, which means that when you farm, for example, GR90 extremely quickly, you can get multiple ethereals per hour. So when you do red runs, you're going to get 2, 3, up to 4 ethereals per hour, because you're going to find between 250 and 400 legendaries in 1 hour if you farm GR90 plus in 1.5 minutes average, maybe 2 minutes average or something like that. So obviously you will have to gear up your build to a point where you can do that kind of comfortably. So when you go and make your next class to try to gather all 3 ethereals and then drop the class again, you kind of have to start from scratch and all that. But you can also farm something like 200 plus items an hour in just T16. And T16 is not exactly a very high bar for most builds. Especially if this is something like your second, third, fourth character and so on. You're gonna have all your gems ready, you're gonna have some Death Breath ready to just craft a set and to go with like whatever is the meta T16 build. You can go Monk POJ, you can go Witch Doctor, Spirit Barrage, you can go Demon Hunter, Gordy Age, and T16 is going to be quite a breeze, and even all the way up to the GR90 is going to be extremely easy in most cases. So for those of you that think that it's going to be such a drag grinding all the different ethereals with classes you don't really want to play, you can probably do each class in as little as 1 to 2 hours from start to finish, boosting yourself with your Gem of Ease. So as you progress through the season, you level Gem of Ease, maybe you craft some cane set or whatever, and then you go into a cow level yourself to level 70 in like 5 minutes, and then you start crafting a few things and you're good to go for T16. I'll definitely highlight some builds that will be able to do this, and that will also be able to speed farm GRs quite easily. So I will totally present something for each class like this a bit down the line after some more testing, but in general it's really not going to be a big issue. There is also an entirely different strategy to ethereal item farming that I want to highlight quickly. I haven't particularly tried this very much yet, but when I made this monk I got boosted from 1 to 70, and I went into a rift and I got 3 Ethereals from the same elite pack drop in a Nephilim rift. So you see them here. I got them at level 17. You see the level requirement, level 17, and this also level 17. They all dropped at the same time. And there seems to be a very small pool of legendary items that can drop when you are low level. So there seems to be this second strategy where you could reduce the level requirement of a weapon with a Gem of Ease level 25 in a cube and put it to level 1, and you go in without any XP bonuses or anything, and you just start blasting, trying to get some kills on T6 and trying to get some loot in Nephilim rifts. And there is a very small pool of possible legendary drops, but the ethereal items, they start dropping as early as I think level 11 or level 10. So you actually have a very high chance that if a legendary drops, it will actually become ethereal. I definitely intend to explore this a bit more and try this with various classes and just see maybe how many legendary drops you need and how long this would take on average. But this might actually be an even faster strategy than doing this, boost to level 70, craft gear. And this might be almost for free. You just need like a weapon, you get it to a level 1 with a Gem of Ease, and then you are good to go for Torment 6 with maybe some cute powers, and it will be very easy to do this. Not only this, but if you don't really want to go out of your way to make other classes to try to collect all the Ethereals, you actually do find other classes Ethereals quite a bit. There is 85% smart loot and 15% off-class loot. This means that if you find, let's say, 3 Ethereals an hour, you're gonna find 1 off-class Ethereal every 2 to 3 hours or so. So if you keep farming and you have like a season where you play, let's say 100 hours, 200 hours or something like that, there's actually a very high chance that you're gonna completely finish some classes automatically just by grinding your main class. So I would definitely suggest when you go for the achievement to get all 21 Ethereals, you should focus on your main class first, and then kind of like as you slow down at the season, as you kind of like phase out and reach your goals and you want to stop, then you do kind of like what's left, and it will probably be quite easy to do so. It will maybe even be just a matter of an afternoon. Obviously all those drop rates can still be adjusted down, but I don't really believe so. The RNG is relatively high on those weapons, so most builds will probably have to find something between 20 to 50 Ethereals to kind of like get the combo they want with the right affix that has a rather high roll, because some affixes have huge ranges on some of those weapons. There are some weapons that you just need to get once, like a Valor's Bequest on the God Age. If you get that, you're done, so that's it. But there are other weapons that actually have huge ranges that would actually make a big difference in the power level of the weapon. So you might have to find the same legendary power like 2, 3, 4 times to actually kind of like reach a high roll of that, and maybe even get a high DPS roll, and maybe also get another passive. In general, you don't care much about the passives. Passives are very weak in Diablo 3, and you only get the 5th best passive for your build in the best case. So in general, this is a very weak bonus, but obviously something that you still strive forward for, like the perfect roll if you keep grinding a lot. Anyway, those weapons basically drop like candy. I've actually had runs where I got 2 of them. I even got 3 of them at the same time, once in a GR, I think. So it does happen quite frequently. You see this beam pop up once in a while, and you really don't have to worry much. So this is what I want to share here about those different strategies. If I try out this low level strategy, I will definitely let you know how that went, and I believe that might actually be a very easy way to get it done as well. So I just wanted to share some optimism here about the Ethereals for next season. I really like the concept, I really like how they are designed and how they work, and I think it's going to be great. And for everyone who wants to go for it, you should, because I think it's going to be an amazing feat, an amazing transmog that you might want to use on this or that class. Some of them actually look really cool and really unique. So hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you guys next time.